Okay.
Welcome to the
Oh
Deepnight
no!
Revelation.
Oh no! Y'all are going away. I'm being nuked. Must be the sun.
Yeah.
Or
Hey.
is it
Yeah.
too early for that?
No. No. It started about 6:30 Pacific time. So yeah, we if we suddenly disappear, that's what happened. We there's a G4 level solar flare hitting us. So they're saying that I could possibly step out on my front porch and see the aurora tonight. So hooray, I guess. Um, you know. But welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We will be picking up where we left off last week, and so Jack missed last week. What happened last week? A whole bunch of stuff happened last week. We had these guys. So they went and they met with the Tenapal, and the Tenapal basically said they don't. They were very untrusting of the newcomers to this sector of space, but they were willing to meet, and these guys smoothed things over. They did a fairly well job with diplomacy. I'm shocked. And the Tenapal said that they would be willing to give more information and whatnot if the Deep Night Revelation would do yet another milk run. And so part of this agreement was that they would be willing to come aboard and possibly meet with the representatives of the Ernli world, and so they invited the Tenapal aboard. And what the Tenapal wanted was to have them check out a colony that the Tenapal had set up that they have lost contact with. They've sent a couple of ships out there, and those ships never came back, and so they have lost contact with this colony for some time. And so it was no big thing for Revelation. They could do it in one jump. And so Revelation jumped out there, and they discovered this very odd system that has a colony world that the Tenapal had named Lucky Find, which might be ironically named. And so when they showed up, they noticed a couple of things. The first thing that they found was that the world was covered in semi-radioactive or mildly radioactive dust. It is undergoing a nuclear winter, but not from the release of atomics or thermo nukes or anything like that. It looks like it's been hit by an asteroid. It looks like some large object has collided with the world. And there's debris in orbit around the world as well. They haven't really looked into that too much. But the reason they haven't looked into that is because there was another ship in system. It was a Sovereigndom's naval vessel. And the leader of this vessel, hold on, I'll tell you what he calls himself. It's something ridiculous like point of contact. There's Will. His name was... Hello, Will. Oh, I see you got your camera.
I do. I'm sorry I'm late here.
Don't worry. Amazon to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what did you do to Glenn?
I don't know what
I don't know. Maybe
we were only allowed to
the
have
solar flare just hit Arizona directly, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was close. His name is Correct Point of Contact, and he is the leader, or he is captain of this ship. And this particular vessel is a part of... I forget which one this was. There's a whole bunch of different sovereigndoms. Ernli, the Sovereigndom of Ernli. And the first thing that he does is he accuses Deep Night Revelation and these rowdy newcomers that he's never met before of having bombed his colony. And the Tenapal on the bridge, of course, get pissed off because it is not his colony. They are unhappy with the Sovereigndoms because sometime in the far past, in the way back, the Sovereigndoms came and kidnapped a bunch of Tenepal and enslaved them, and this was many generations ago. And so they don't like the they don't like the Sovereigndoms, and this also kind of poisoned their first contact with the Erline worlds because lo and behold, the worlds are the same race as the Sovereigndoms. They've just been separated by many generations as well because the Erline don't know where their homeworld was, and they've lost contact with so many of their colonies. Well, one result of that was the Sovereigndoms, and so there is this back and forth, and where we left off, the Deepnight Revelation and the Sovereigndom's naval vessel are kind of point to point. Doing the typical Star Trek Enterprise versus the Romulan Warbird kind of standoff. The difference here is that the Sovereigndom's naval vessel is TL9 and only 900 tons, and yet they are still puffing out their chest, versus Deepnight Revelation, which is 59,000 tons and has a spinal mount weapon. So Josephus's initial reaction was to charge up the spinal mount and just be done with them. But
I agree.
we haven't done that yet, and the Sovereigndom's naval vessel. Well, we'll get into what their reaction to all this is. Before we get started, we'd like to thank the friends of Greenwater, Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. Tonight, we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. They make wonderful beard products such as oils, balms, butters, beard wash, co-wash. There's a women's line called at FableBeauty.com. Not that they have beard stuff, but I mean they could, I guess.
Women's beards.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, we don't want to be sexual. We don't want to be gender biased.
Yes, right, yes. All of their scent profiles are a different fantasy character. For instance, tonight I am wearing Dr. Wolf, which is a blueberry and pipe tobacco blend, and it is a beard butter that makes my beard really super soft. But they have several different scent profiles. That's the Hero that Glenn is holding up there. That's Hero Beard Balm. Good for if you've got flyaways and you want to get it under control. Many different products and different scent profiles. They do have a buy one, get one free option. So if you are a first-time purchaser, go to FableBeardCo.com, make an account, and you can put 2 beard oils into your cart. When you check out, use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and that will get you your second beard oil for free. So, this naval vessel is standing off, and you guys did pretty good job of kind of puffing out your own chest, and you didn't directly threaten him right back, but you warned him. And what you discovered is that the Sovereigndoms, so you were told by the Tenepal that, how did they put it? She was very very blunt about it. She tells you that the Sovereigndoms are a bunch of pushy loudmouths who enslaved some of their ancestors and that they cannot be trusted. Well, what she told you pretty much holds true, and so you just kind of met his aggressiveness with your aggressiveness, and his tone hasn't really changed, but his stance has kind of changed. And so he suggests that perhaps a meeting aboard your vessel would be wise, and so that we can discuss this and get to the bottom of who bombed this colony, or bombed our colony. He's still insisting that it belongs to the Sovereigndoms.
Did we arrive here in time to have bombed their colony?
No. In fact, he was already here when you showed up.
Okay.
So we were
they
returning to the
are
time.
invading. They're invading the territory of the ambassador that we have on board, who Pappy's been fucking, by the way.
Oh, that's right, Pep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That happened last week as well. Pappy did the nasty with the Tenapol ambassador. He did the goat dirty.
I would so yeah, I would respond and say we would be happy to host you as you attempt to determine who caused the bombing that happened before we arrived.
I think we ought to talk to him in a very aggressive state.
Why? They clearly want to use us as a neutral territory.
So,
Well, they don't.
Well, no, we've already spoken
We've already
aggressively.
spoken to them. They're aggressive. They don't want to be neutral. If you be neutral with them, they'll think you're being weak.
Yeah, what these guys what they've already determined is that with the Sovereigndoms, if you approach them from a neutral standpoint, they will assume that you're weak. And if you try to placate them and play nice or offer them gifts, they will definitely know that you're weak. And so the only way to get ahead with them is to be as aggressive as they are.
Yeah.
So I'll just say we arrived after the bombing, so we clearly did not.
It appears the bombing happened maybe a year or two before we got here.
It's not quite that far out, but it is.
Either way, I'm saying what I'm saying. We arrived here well after the bombing.
Right.
We will be happy to host you as you attempt to determine who is responsible. But clearly, this is a spaceship, not a time machine. We've just arrived. And
yeah, so he offered, or he is how does he put it? He says that they graciously accept your offer of a meeting aboard your vessel, and that with your permission, his naval vessel will dock with one of your airlocks. They don't have any. So this particular ship does not have any ancillary craft. So
we'll come pick them up.
Sure.
I think we need to pick them up. Because if we let them buy, there's a fair chance they'll try to board us.
Their ship is not supposed to be here. We already have an alliance with their people that this is their territory. I think we need to be telling them they need to fucking leave. Leave or face the fucking consequences. This is not your territory, and you need to go or be destroyed.
I think let them on. Let's go with this. Let's figure out what they got to offer.
Well, I mean,
they're no threat to us, right?
They'll try to board us if they dock. I imagine they'll try to board us if we dock.
Really, looking at this ship, they've got 3 medium torpedo bays and 8 dual pulse laser turrets. There's more guns than anything else on this ship.
That's fine. Once they're docked, most of those guns won't be pointed at us.
That's true too. The sensor operator on the bridge wants somebody's attention.
Sure.
That would be Sardis.
And he is showing your ship. This is your ship. He is showing a so the debris field around this colony planet. And actually, I should have showed you this.
I really think we ought to just fucking get violent with this other guys.
So there is a debris field around this planet, and he shows it to you, and he has picked out that this debris field looks like the remains of a couple, 2 to 3 ships that are anywhere from 800 tons to 1,000 tons that were in orbit around this planet. They're now completely broken up. And he says, that depending on the path that the asteroid took when it hit the world, that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is that an EM signature just lit up in that debris field.
Okay, so that means some type of radio device was used, or an electronic device. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, and it fairly strong, and it was pointed in our direction.
We're also, another thing that you all need to realize, because you weren't here last week, is we're kind of under the impression that the mold might be present here, and I mean that we were kind of led to believe that when we first headed to this system, is the mold might be here, and so I mean,
yeah, you guys told the Tenepal about the Deepnight entity, and the Tenepal were aghast, especially after you showed them the video and that you've made, and so they were, of course, extremely worried that perhaps this has befallen their colony. And so that's the main reason why they were like, well, if that's a possibility, then we got to go out here and check it out.
Okay.
I was just trying to catch you up on kind of what transpired, but
if you want to take a closer look at these sensor readings, you can make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education check.
I sure would. 11.
Okay. So you kind of zoom in, you kind of, get a closer look at this, and you see what he's talking about. And as you zoom in, you realize that it's not just one EM source, or initially what he saw was one EM source. You're looking at it, it looks like kind of in the debris field that a sensor ping has activated and is aimed at Deepnight, almost directly at Deepnight, and of course because of where you are, also the Sovereigndom's naval vessel. And then as you're looking at this debris field, you see ping, 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 several other EM fields activate, tiny ones.
I'll just emergency, all hands emergency stations.
Red alert!
Right. I mean, I don't know. We don't really rely on force fields, right? So for defenses, so it's not like you're putting
the shields up, Scotty.
Yeah, you're not yelling shields up or anything.
Well, no, but
maybe. Let's see. Do you have
our turret guys should be looking for,
targets?
Yeah, whether it be missiles or anything else. And we got those sandcasters.
How far away are those signals?
They would be. That's a good question. Yeah, make Glenn.
Are they medium or long or?
Not that far. So yeah, I would say long, because you're not that far out from orbit. You were approaching the planet when these idiots kind of intervened. To answer your question, yeah, evidently you do have some screens. You've got Meson screens and nuclear dampers.
What's a Meson screen?
Meson guns are nasty radiation guns that a lot of times they are, in a lot of cases, they are planetary based. And the reason that they're planetary based is that they ignore physical matter and other forms of atomic substructure. So they can fire, and it will go inside your ship, and then the protons and radiation explodes. And so everything inside that area is now irradiated with a ton of damage. Mesons are nasty. So Meson screens, nuclear dampers, which are pretty good for stopping fusion, plasma, and of course nuclear weaponry.
I think we should nuke them.
I'm worried more about what's going to come from the rubbish field.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
working together, probably.
I don't think so, because they're targeting their ship as well, the other ship as well.
So
could be a third party.
That's true. You go to Red Alert. What is it that everybody's doing for Red Alert? You're on the bridge. Now, I suppose. So you are all the way up here. Your ships and whatnot would be up on deck, hangar deck 1, or possibly, yeah, probably docking space mission module deck 1.
I don't think I want to go out on my scout. Do you guys?
Not particularly. I want to, maybe we could get a scan back at all the little shit that's scanning us. And
Hoping so.
Yeah.
I think we need to get the ambassador to send a message out to the debris and see if that's the remains of her people.
Well, I mean, the scan will tell us that.
Well, Sarda already did a scan. The ambassador, kind of comes over and looks over Sarda's shoulder, and I kind of have this image in my head that the sense op is sitting at his station. Sarda's over one shoulder and she's looking over the other shoulder. So this poor corporal's like, oh man, all eyes are on me. What did I find? And she kind of looks at as Sarda has kind of zoomed in the resolution and whatnot. She looks and she says that debris field could be the remains of the Tenepal ships that they sent to the colony.
And could the weapon still be operable? That's what I'm worried more about.
She says, "Well, I'm not." She says, "I'm not a naval person." She says, "But it seems feasible." What is Jack doing under Red Alert?
He's looking at his skills, trying to figure out what the fuck I can do. And I'm a broker? Uh-huh.
Yes.
I have some piloting skill, but zero in guns.
Okay.
You don't have a...
But I will...
I don't have a neural jack and a bunch of wafers.
Gun is with the best of them.
So Mill's kind of looking around like, what do I do? What do I do?
Is there a alternate command post?
Yeah.
Is there CIC?
Yes. Well, I mean, Bridge is more or less CIC.
Is there another CIC?
I
don't think so. It says Bridge ×2.
That is a good question.
It's likely in engineering.
Yeah, a lot of time. I know that each of the mission modules have a secondary bridge.
I'm going to the secondary bridge.
And I guess the question is, which one? Let's see here.
I'm gonna suggest that me, Stimpy, and Jack can pilot, since Pappy is not with it. And let's take the Driznex and go look at the wreckage.
So Randolph, you're wanting to head to the alternate bridge. The closest one would be deck 1 of the forward pods, which would be down here, number 9.
Okay.
As you are getting ready to leave,
If they're leaving, I'm going to change positions and go with them.
Okay. As you are getting ready to leave, Sarda, you see. Let me need to get the right number here. Here we go. You see those the secondary little tiny EM blips all kind of jump off of the wreckage and start heading towards Deep Night Revelation. There are 19 of these things.
I don't think that could be good.
So they were at long range. What's the kilometer distance on long range?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a ways.
Well,
Anywhere
so
from 10,001 to 25,000 kilometers. I would say you're probably closer to 10,000.
all right, so they're within my psychic abilities. I can't life sense at that range, but I can
Do we
other
know
things.
how fast they're accelerating?
You can expand your range by using more side points.
Right. I'll just wait though. They're as they get to they get in the long range, I can hit them with the densidometer. I'll get more information from the scans.
If they're going to be a while, we'll just load up the fucking Dresneks and head out there. And
It's going to be quick.
Yeah,
How fast are these things coming?
Not terribly quick. It does seem like they are moving under a some kind of small gravitic drive, like what you would see, basically a micro maneuver drive. So they're only capable of like 1G, but they are.
It takes a while to go 10,000 kilometers in 1G.
Yes, exactly.
let's get a closer look at that by going out with our auxiliary craft. I mean,
I'm gonna use clairvoyance.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it's
Okay.
I'll be able to see them from very distant even.
Let me pull that up.
and we're headed to the Dresneks. We're gonna go out and
Okay.
do a buffer
I'm
zone.
wondering if these are people from the wrecks that are trying to come to us, because they're only doing 1G. I don't think they're a missile.
Well, that's why we're going to look. I mean, we need to make sure. I mean, Deep Night is the most important thing of everything. All life of everybody depends on Deep Night doing its mission. It doesn't make sense to, the auxiliary craft are there to do the job and be buffer zoned.
So I got a 13 on the clairvoyance. I beat the DC by 5.
Yes. Okay.
Nice.
So you do see something. You see these are what you see coming towards you. 19 of them.
Oh, there are little buddies.
They appear to be 6-legged drones, insect-like drones that are coming towards us.
Gee, they look just like our ally.
Yes. Yes, they do.
But we don't know if they're the ally or our enemy.
So I'll turn to the group that's with us that just joined us, and I'm like, "Do you know anything about these 6-legged drones that are approaching?"
The Tenapal knows nothing. She's never seen anything like this. She agrees with Randolph that these look similar to some of the combat droids that the Erline Worlds use. The Erline ambassador from the Erline Worlds doesn't say anything. He, everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
Sure.
Ten.
Oh, poor Mel.
That was sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Mel might have accidentally poked out an eye.
Yeah, those Those are combat, man. We don't want those things are going to start taking our ship apart if we let them touch us.
What you notice, well, everybody except for Mel, you notice that the Erline ambassador, and these guys have kind of seen this before, in a almost very human-like way, considering that he's a big giant crab. He hangs his head a bit and looks towards the floor, and his shell turns from this normal vibrant blue. It visibly changes color to like a paler blue.
All right, these are headed this way. Do they? I'm assuming that's a bad thing for our ship. Is that correct? Is there a way to turn them off or to interact with them peacefully?
If they're in range, we can start shooting them with our turrets.
Right. I'm assuming you guys are running to the ship as this is happening.
Yeah, we're headed to the ship. We're gonna.
So,
yeah.
Bocephus is heading to the ship. Is Randolph heading to the ship?
Yes.
What about Jack?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got turret 2. I got turret 4, so
And we're taking Stimpy with us, so we can
turret 2
lead.
and Dex 2.
He's got sensors that we'll need.
Okay.
You know.
What is Sarda doing?
I'm going to stay here and direct things, I think.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
So, I mean, you know, there's this too.
I'll leave a line open.
Oh, I mean, those 18 triple turret beam lasers would sure come in handy if they started lighting up these 19 different targets. It should be pretty easy to pick each target. They're drones. They're not.
Yeah.
I hate this player. He doesn't have shit.
We'll start having everybody target things. They get in range. I don't know what the range is on those
Beam lasers?
Beam lasers got to be pretty short, I would imagine.
I think they're long.
Actually, beam lasers are pretty good. They have a range of medium. So these things are going to be in medium range real quick.
Yep. So prepare to fire. Start clearing targets.
Well, they do get a target lock. So since the sense up target locks these guys.
Well,
Meanwhile, these other 3 are running down to their docking space. Now the question.
This leads me to the conclusion that it's the damn sovereigns in the debris.
That's what I'm thinking too, and I'm thinking they're drone based people, man. So the signal has to be coming from their main ship. So, I mean, jamming their signal coming from their ship stops all their drone control. These are drone based people.
This is true.
That's a hit. That is not a hit. Ooh, that's a hit. That's a hit. And that is not a hit. So 3 hits.
I got squat. I got naval tactics. I got all the engineering stuff.
Well, I mean, that engineering shit we need. You know, people need to do the drives and.
So
and
the gunnery section, they just use their fire control software to allow the guns to auto fire on these guys. They took out 10 of them. There's 9 left. And you, Sarda, you can see that these 9 have kind of split. There are 4 coming for Revelation, and 5 are heading for the Sovereigndom's naval vessel.
I'm gonna try to radio them, make contact with them. I'm not sure what signal they might be broadcasting on, but
Go ahead.
I'll ask the Erline that's there, right? There's one that's here on the deck on the bridge with me,
Yes.
and I'll just say what frequencies is best to try to reach them if there are people behind these.
He has no idea. He says that he has never encountered these before. He
Right.
doesn't know. He can give you the frequency that their combat drones usually use.
Well, that's a good indication they're not his
Yeah.
combat drones.
You can make a electronic comms plus intellect or education check. You get a +1 because you're using his frequencies.
Okay.
Of course, the other option is it's the survivors on the planet that have taken over some drone technology, but
Not
that
that
seems
wrong.
pretty far fetched.
Still gotta. We can't let those things touch any of our ships. We have to assume that they're carrying the mold agent, and we do not want any of that. I mean,
Oh.
until we clear out the chance
There's
that the
no,
mold
we
be
don't want
here.
fungus among
Yeah,
us.
yeah. The fungus and even the slightest hint of its presence is bad.
So what kind of guns do we have on this thing?
I need to add.
Two triple
Pulse
turrets.
lasers and missile racks.
Where's the missile racks?
The second triple turret has a missile rack and 2 pulse lasers, and the other triple turret has 2 pulse lasers and a sandcaster.
All right, so I assume Pappy's flying.
Well, Jack's got.
Oh, that's right. Jack's got piloting.
I
Yeah. So we're trying to incorporate Jack you.
Yes. Mel can do.
Thanks for coming over, Jack.
Mel. Yeah. Come on, Mel. You're gonna fly, and I think Randall's gonna run one of the turrets.
I don't
Both
have any
seat.
turret shit. I thought
Oh,
I
you
did.
don't?
No,
I've got turret 2, so I can run the turrets.
I got all the power stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do the engineering.
So you can run one of the turrets. What turret are you wanting to run?
I can't link the turrets.
No.
I want the one with the missiles.
Okay.
Gonna spend money on this, huh?
Hey, you know. Everybody
I got
roll
it.
some initiative.
10.
2D plus either your dexterity or your intellect, whichever you choose.
10.
Okay.
I have neither. I have
I
social
don't know which button
and
I need to
luck.
fucking roll.
So
And
the
charm.
first thing you need to do is click on your character token, which is probably not on the map.
I did throw them up here.
Hell is on the
Right
map.
over here.
Oh, there they are. Yeah, so you need to target that, and then if you're using your character sheet and it's filled in on the combat tab, if you go scroll below your armor section, there's the ability to roll initiative.
All right, I'm looking.
And it'll either be based on your dex or your int, and so you'd want to select the drop down that's based on your better stat.
Did it work? It worked. Holy shit, I did it.
Yeah, it'll work as long as you've got your token targeted. That's the hard thing to
Okay.
remember.
Oh, somehow Randolph ended up twice. There we go. There we go. Hold on just a second. Okay, so Bocephus, You're going into the missile turret.
Can I control it from the bridge? Do I have to go into the turret itself, or
Yeah.
can I?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I guess I will.
Okay, so you're heading to the missile turret. Oh, there we go.
And while I'm headed to the missile turret, I would like to give an inspiring speech using leadership and give the people on board boons or banes, bonuses.
Sure. Go ahead and make a leadership plus intellect or education check.
All right. Kind of speech I'm gonna do. Ooh, sorry.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
that ain't good.
yeah, yeah. You should fear for your lives. There's a lot of unknowns out there, and we're really subject to fuck this up. Yeah, so we'll have three dings on us.
We're all gonna die.
I don't know, but 3 times we're gonna get fucking minuses to our shit because I fucked that up. So there you go.
Well, it just lowers your. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because if I succeed, I get the effect to give people. I think instead of boon and bane, you said it was a +2 at one
Right?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get leadership and tactics screwed up. It wasn't your initiative. It was you were trying to come up with a battle plan, right?
Right. No, I was trying to inspire my troops, and I didn't do well. Hence the
No.
real shitty speech I gave. Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
This might be it, guys. I don't know if we have the guys on hand to really handle this.
Was that to affect initiative? Is that what we were doing?
Tactics affects initiative.
Gotcha.
I was doing leadership to try to
grant us advantage or disadvantage.
Yeah. And I went bad.
You're allowed. I put my hazardous environment suit on,
Okay, so you're gearing up.
and I carry my rifle in my into the engineering. my auto pistol and my Gauss rifle.
So you're gearing up as you're heading to engineering. Mel, you're piloting? So Mel, you can make you've been given clearance from the bridge. You can make a piloting spacecraft plus dexterity check. And this is a routine check. I mean, docking, undocking is only a 6 level.
Let's roll a 2 and blow up.
Jack?
Yep.
Did you roll? There you go. Did you roll piloting spacecraft plus dexterity?
I did not roll that yet, but I will.
Okay.
God damn.
So, leaving the docking space, Mel kind of scrapes the paint as he's coming out. You hear the inside the ship. You hear as he's
full Galaxy Quest. Full Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, full on Galaxy Quest. Yeah, I mean it's not. It doesn't do any terrible amount of damage. Probably 1 point to the hull as he scrapes it coming out. Your hull points are down to 39.
Okay, so I can
We'll,
pilot.
we'll
Not
buff
that it
it
was
out
any
later.
good.
We'll buff it out later, Jack.
Right?
Get the Bondo out and
So yeah,
space Bondo. Looks a lot like epoxy.
but it floats. Serta, you're on the bridge of Deepnight. What would you like to do? You can
Uh,
move.
I think just direct the next wave of attacks, right? I mean, we need
Sure.
to light them all up. Let's
Sure. If
set
you
the locks and attack.
okay, you can roll 2d6 plus 1, and you can do that 5 times.
Ow! Ow!
+1, you said?
Yes.
This liquid Band-Aid stuff hurts.
Yeah. You know what that is? It's actually super glue.
Crazy glue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's see here. Hit, miss, hit. 2.
I thought it smelled familiar.
That is 4 more have been taken out.
So that's all the ones coming to us.
No, they were heading for the
We had 5
Sovereigndom's-
incoming.
Sovereigndom's vessel. So there's only one heading for the Sovereigndom's vessel now.
Well, glad we helped them out.
Well, that's what you guys are for, right? So
No.
yeah, you direct them, and you do a good job of
They
taking.
need to die.
guys
Maybe have the Deep Night move back a little bit so those things don't get up on them.
So Deep Night, let's see here. I mean, yeah,
Deep Night got
she-
plenty of thrust.
she can maneuver. Not terribly great. I mean, she's
Big.
59,400 tons. So even at thrust 4, So yeah, as you guys are pulling away, I mean, is that? I mean, Serta, you're on the bridge. Is that? I mean, what you want to do? What do you're kind of directing?
No, we're just going to stay here and shoot them all.
Okay. All right.
Solid plan.
All right, Bocephus. So, I'm sorry, Mel. My question for Mel is, so you have thrust 4. You can move up to, and thrust 4 being 4 Gs. You can move up to your max of 4 Gs. These guys are coming at you at 1 G. And so, if you let's say that you decide that you're only going to go at 2 Gs, that leaves you with 2 thrust points that you can use for evasive maneuvers if you need to.
Okay.
So how fast do you want to go? I mean, 1 G would leave you 3 points, etc.
And how fast do we want to close? I thought we heard just stand. I heard just stand still.
Well, Deepnight Revelation itself is just standing still, but you're in the scout.
That's right.
So you can choose how fast you want to close with these guys.
Well,
We could go backwards at 1G and they wouldn't approach.
the funny thing is, I was thinking that, like, should I just move backwards to keep them at a distance and just bang them? But
Seems fine to me. I mean,
Could do
That's
that.
fine with me.
yeah.
yeah, that's my plan.
So maintain distance.
Yep.
So Bocephus, these guys are at medium range. A missile at this range would take. Oh, well, it would be immediate. Hold on, I need to look at.
I'm not gonna shoot a missile at that. If I shoot a missile, it's at the fucking Sovereigndom ship. Just
So you're not going to shoot these guys down at all?
that's not what I said.
Oh.
I've got one. I've got.
If he shoots a missile, it's going to be.
Yeah, if I shoot a missile, it's headed to the Sovereign ship. I'm going to use these pulse laser times 2.
Well, the
And-
turret that the turret that you chose was the missile rack turret.
No, it's
Yeah.
got 2 pulse lasers and 1 missile rack.
missile.
Oh, you're right. You are correct, sir. My apologies. So yeah, you want to shoot so pulse lasers. Yeah, you can hit a pulse laser has a range of long. They're longer than the medium or than the beam rate laser. So yeah, you can make a you can fire both of them because those two are of course fire linked in that turret with one gunner turret plus your dex check, and you get your fire control. Shit, I don't see any software on this thing at all. I guess it is 2D plus your gunner turret plus your dex check. Keep in mind this is not a combat ship, so I'm not super shocked that doesn't have fire control. But
9.
that's still a hit. That is an additional +1 damage. So these do. The pulse lasers by themselves do 2D. You're firing 2 of them. That's 2D +1. With an additional, that is 2D +2 damage.
Right, but these are not a spaceship that I'm hitting.
Right.
So that's times 100.
Yes.
So do I need to roll?
Just roll 2D. Just go ahead and roll. I want to see what we're doing, what we're dealing with here. So roll 2D +2.
12.
Holy shit.
Nice shooting, Tex.
Thank you.
Before I do that, it'd probably be a good idea if I put these guys up on the initiative stack. Do they have anything? They do not. They are just big, dumb crab robots.
Are they robots or drones, I wonder?
Not a whole lot of difference, is there?
There's a whole lot of difference.
Well,
a drone requires a controller, and if we jam signals, yeah.
So these guys. This guy is vaporized. This guy. This guy. Both take damage, but they are not destroyed. Your pulse lasers, pop, 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 and it hits this first one, and he goes up in a huge fireball. And these other two next to him take shrapnel damage and explosive damage from the impact of the laser, mostly shit falling off of him. But
Okay.
Keep in mind, there's not going to be a shockwave in space because there's no air. But these two take damage from pieces of him raining into them. But they are still trucking along.
Okay.
How are we going to get home on a scout ship?
I need
Methodically.
slowly.
These things jump too, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically speaking, at 1G they're traveling 35.3 kilometers per hour, or 9.8 meters per second. So yeah, that's going to take a while to go from medium to close range.
So this, we're not allowing them. We're maintaining distance.
Right.
Per the pilot.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Mel was maintaining distance. Randolph, what are you doing in engineering?
Picking my teeth.
Yes.
Got any green in it?
How much power does the ship have? It has 160 power points. So evidently not enough. So let's see here. 80.
We have 8 points worth of power.
Well, you could transfer energy from hold on. 80 36 18 2. So with everything active, this thing uses 182 power points. It's only got 160. So you need to free up some power. I mean, you can shut down sensors. I assume that you're doing some power stuff. Is that
That's fine.
so?
I mean,
Sensors,
you only need to power one turret.
true. So
I mean, we're getting sensor lock on everything we're shooting, right? So
yeah, nobody's used sensors.
We don't need the jump drive. And why
Yeah,
do we
you
need the
can.
jump?
Yeah, you can shut down jump drive. That's
And then
100.
we're good.
Yeah, and then you're good. That's 152. So, yeah, you just power down jump drive and transfer all weapon or all power to weapons and everything else. I mean, you technically shut down the fuel processor too. But Mel, what are you doing?
I doubt
So a
it's
couple
work.
of
I doubt the fuel processor is working right now.
yeah, it certainly doesn't need to have power shunted to it. So I mean that's another whole 2 points, but. So Mel, so you can, of course, maintain your distance with your thrust. That's not the hard part. You could, if you wanted to, you can make a piloting plus dex check to try to give Bocephus a better angle to fire at, if that's what you would like to do.
Well, I appreciate the spoon feedings. I'm still trying to figure out the rules here. Yes, that's what I'll do. I will give him a better shot, whatever I can, even if
Okay.
that means closing. But I'm going
So
to angle.
allocating a thrust.
Essentially, it's basically rolling the ship to give that turret a better field of fire. So the effect of that, if you roll 8 or higher, then he gets a bonus of that effect to his next attack. A negative means that you rolled in the wrong direction, and there's a negative to his attack.
Well, brace yourself, kids, because it hasn't gone well so far.
Some nights the dice giveth, and others they take.
Mother of God!
Okay, so he is in the process of rolling, which partially obscures Bocephus's turret view. These guys.
I said I had the skill, not that I was worth a shit.
Well, that's what you get.
These guys.
I'm for a beer, Jack.
What is a combat accessory? Oh.
I am going to have to study the shit out of this game next week.
Yeah, just focus on the core rulebook because yeah, there are a lot of
Because the answer is
caveats.
never throw a fireball.
Yes, there are a lot of caveats and addendums, which I have learned. There's a lot of optional rules, and so far, I have not found very many optional rules that make the game, in air quotes, better.
They make it worse.
In some cases, yeah. Like, I guess if we were strictly running a pure naval campaign, the constant nagging of looking at your resource units and your spares and things like that would be interesting, but I find it to be tedious along the lines of like tracking, down to the kilogram encumbrance of how much shit you're carrying. It's like, dude, you don't need to know how much your character can carry weight-wise. I mean, you can carry, logically, you can carry a field pack, the armor you're wearing. If you couldn't wear the armor, you wouldn't be able to stand up and move, right? So
Right.
you can have your armor that you're wearing, you can have a field pack, you can have one main weapon, a sidearm, up to probably about 8 magazines, and probably 2 to 3 grenades, and of course your communicator, whatever you're using for communications. Beyond that, oh, and probably a knife of some type or a sword. Beyond that, you are probably overly encumbered. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure that out. We don't need to get down to the last kilogram. So, so he rolls that these things seem to their maneuver drives seem to flare for a second, and they get a short burst of speed, but that's about all they do. They do fire off some lasers. 2 of them hit Deepnight Revelation, but don't do any damage whatsoever. These are personal weapons, but apparently these robots or drones or whatever they are not quite smart enough to realize that their personal weapons aren't going to do anything against a starship. Sarda, what would you like to do?
Just keep directing the people on board to find the next target and
All
destroy it.
You can make another 1d6 plus 1 5 times. Or, because there's only 4 of them left.
Wait, 1d6 or 2d6?
Or, I'm sorry, you're right. 2d6 plus 1 5 times. Or, you can do that 2, 3, 4. You can do 2d6 plus 1 3 times, and one of them 2d6 plus 2.
I'm just going to do the 5 times. Damn it, come on. I should have taken
no.
Should have taken you up on that. Looks like I only 2 hit.
So
Don't you get a +2 from laser locks?
I'm
that
assuming not.
is technically true. So hit, they're all hits. So hold on. 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll 2d plus 8.
16.
You can annihilate one of them completely. Which one do you want to kill?
I don't have a particular one. It doesn't matter. The closest one,
Okay.
I don't.
Probably. Let's just do on this one. Is badly damaged. And so now there are only 2 that are station keeping. One of them is trailing sparks and smoke behind it, and electrical arcs. It is very badly screwed up. Bocephus, what do you want to do?
Is the one that's going towards that other ship? Is it firing lasers at it too, or is it just headed to the ship?
Yeah, well, as it is trying to pass Deepnight, it fires at
Not
it.
Deepnight.
It
I'm
is-
talking about the
Yes,
the
it is
enemy.
Well,
passing Deepnight to get to the other ship. As it is
Oh.
passing Deepnight, yes, it rakes it with laser fire, but they're hand grade weapons. They're small arms. They're not going to do anything against the ship.
I mean, I think if Sarda gets another round, all those things go away, and I can do something better with my time. I want to see if there's comms communications between the drones and the Erline ship.
Okay, go ahead and make a electronics comms plus intellect or education check.
That's an 11.
You are not detecting any communications between the Sovereigndom ship
Yeah, Sovereigndom.
or these drones. But you are picking up some very garbled binary that's coming from them. And what is coming up on your comm screen, it's automatically trying to decode this binary, and it's coming back as gibberish.
But I've spent some time on that. There's clues in that. I mean, that's kind of my turn is done then, I guess.
Okay.
I can't do two things without taking minuses. I mean, I've basically switched to comms.
Yeah, if you do more than one thing, then you're a minus one for each additional thing you do. Randolph, what would you like to do?
Shoot a gun, Randolph. Fuck it. Take the minus.
Take the minus.
Fuck it.
Yeah, because the other turret has another couple of pulse lasers.
Yeah, it's got another couple pulse lasers. Take a shot, man. Fuck it.
-3.
Well, you get your fucking dex bonus or your
I
intelligence.
don't have a dex bonus.
Okay.
So you're -3. I mean,
Take the -3 and see what happens.
Watch, he's gonna roll boxcars. You watch. No, I mean you missed, but that's not terrible.
Oh.
So yeah, Randolph starts shooting
Putting lasers in the ground in space, and they just go forever.
Yes, right. Yes.
Whatever.
Mel, are you gonna try?
I am.
Correct.
So you want me to roll the other way? You want me to go the other way this time?
Oh, maybe so. Yeah, I didn't
Let's
look
try
that good
rolling.
last
That's
time.
a good maneuver.
Be right back.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting closer to average.
Oh, so he does succeed in rolling the ship, and he brings it around, kind of like if there was an upside down in space, you would be upside down comparative to Revelation, which allows both Cephas and Randolph to gain a +1 on their attacks.
Oh yeah.
The mobile units.
They're going to shoot their pistols again.
No, something more interesting is going to happen with that.
They're going to throw a nuclear grenade at us.
Kind of.
It's real hard for any of their personal weapon shit to go that distance. I think. I don't know what they have.
Little boy, stay. Stop eating the damn French fries.
So at this range, he's going to be at
Oh, McDonald's French fries are terrible, dude.
he is going to be at a -2. They have.
And if we have thrust left, he can try to dodge it, right?
So, well, you don't have to worry about it. But from the wreckage where these things came out, you see this one chunk of wreckage kind of rotate around, and you see a bunch of micrometeors fire out, like from a railgun, and just completely go off target and almost like it was a shotgun, but they go completely off target and completely miss both Desinex and Deep Night Revelation. They've got a small mass driver in the wreckage.
Time to fire a missile into the wreckage.
Yeah, but,
not. That thing probably can only fire in one direction. Let's just get to a safe. Get behind it so it can't shoot us.
Well, I mean, it's in orbit, so.
Right, but I mean, it probably doesn't have a universal 360-degree firing arc, I'm imagining.
No, but I mean,
So-
you're at long range from it, so I mean, in order to get behind it, you would have to get closer and orbit around the planet, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
You have to be on the other side of the planet.
Or get into a closer orbit to get behind
Yep.
it.
So let's split up from from the other ship, and let's start moving in towards it at an oblique angle. I'm assuming it can't reload really quickly, since that looks like just a
Probably not.
bunch of shit that they just piled in a
Yes.
pipe.
Uh,
And attempt to radio them again.
okay. So Deep Night, you guys in the scout ship, you see Deep Night's maneuver drives activate, and she's kind of trying to move around.
Are you
Sarda,
going to shoot at the other dudes?
Sarda, are you? Did you want? So
Yeah, I'm just going to say you appear to be vastly outgunned. We do not mean any harm. Can you please make peaceful contact with us? If you do not have radios, maybe flashlights.
make a electronics comms plus intellect or education.
I'm not good at that one, so I'm happy with that.
So, you get confirmation that the message was received. Coming back, you get a bunch of garbled communications in binary, and I mean when it comes up, none of it makes any sense at all. If you've ever if you ever tried to hack a terminal in Fallout, I imagine that's probably what it looks like. It's just garbage. Are you going to have your gunners make another attack?
I mean, they're still coming in on us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, you can make 2 at +2. Actually, yeah, 2 at +2 and 1 at +1. Hit. That's a hit. And a hit.
So that's it, right? 2 at +2 and 1 at +1.
Yeah, hold on. So, roll 2d +4.
Hello there, little boy. Looking for more French fries?
9.
This one vaporizes completely. And this one takes damage, but they're still coming.
We're not getting a times 100 for using.
You are.
Wow, they're just got a lot to them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and they're using swarm rules now. Bocephus, what are you doing? You and Randolph both get +1s.
I'm gonna shoot another one of the things. It's an 11 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. What damage? 2d, right?
Wait. 2D plus 4 total. You're gonna really screw this guy up.
11.
Yeah. 110.
Uh,
Vaporizes the last one coming towards you guys. Randolph, if you want, you can shoot this last one that's coming around this, or trying to go around the side of Revelation to head towards the other one, or towards the Sovereigndom ship.
hell yeah, look.
That's a hit. So roll 2D plus 1.
So you just got to try and have faith in yourself, man.
9.
We're having this big wholesome moment in the middle of combat.
Randolph blows up the last one.
Sweetheart, you can't. I'm not going to give you any more French fries. They're not good for you.
So Sarda,
Especially cold McDonald ones.
on the bridge of Revelation, the commander of the Sovereigndom ship thanks you for your assistance and acknowledges that you are clearly a powerful warrior race.
We're actually not. We just happen to have weapons that are capable of these types of things.
In a very creepy way, this giant crab on your holographic screen appears to start to be chuckling and holds up one of his pincher arms and goes, "Stop! You're trying to be your attempts at being humble are ridiculous."
Do we have any idea?
Yes.
Are these creatures? Let's try to determine whether these creatures are living or alien. So start broadcasting binary back to them. Let's do like a Fibonacci series, and then see if they respond with the next in the sequence, or try primes and see if they respond with the next in the sequence. I mean, just let's try to see if we can't get some kind of response back that lets us know whether they were communicating.
Okay, go ahead and make a comms plus intellect or education check. Sorry, I skipped Mel.
That's all right.
Oof.
So
This is my worst skill. I only have a +1 in this.
So you are attempting to decode this garbled binary, and as you're trying to figure out how to communicate with these things, you're not seeing any pattern to any of this.
Right. That's why I want to
random.
send them a. That's why I want to send them a pattern to see if they respond.
So
back.
you attempt to send them a regular pattern. Here's a question. I guess it doesn't matter. It's binary. Binary is its own language. So you attempt to send them a pattern, and you get no response. So Mel, you are in the pilot's chair. You're probably still fully aware that there is still that mass driver in orbit. Did you want to speed off in that direction, or are you guys just going to ignore this mass driver?
I think we have to close.
Okay. So, first question, how many thrust points are you throwing into that out of the 4?
I have a thing I want to close relatively quickly while they're reloading, so I'm going to put 3 into it.
Okay, so 3 is relatively zippy. And go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check. Piloting spacecraft plus dexterity.
And he rams us into Deepnight.
I don't. It could be worse.
It could be a lot worse, actually. Yeah, so Mel clumsily brings the ship around, kind of swings her around, and starts heading towards this debris field. Bocephus.
I have a question.
What's your question?
We have a probe.
Yeah.
How fast do they go?
So, probes go a long ways. I mean, you
Can they go fast?
Yeah, they've got thrust. end, I want to say. Hold on.
So we could shoot a probe in there?
It might even be faster than that. Let me...
The only probe I own goes 5 meters. It's very slow.
You're lucky with 5 meters. Mine's like half that.
Well, I mean, it's 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters.
So let's see here.
It's a spy camera.
Where's my other? Oh, of course. That's the book I didn't need this one, so I'm not going to open it. All right, here we go.
We have a probe.
Right. I think they are really fast. Because they're basically like robotic missiles. Oh, they're even faster than that. Like thrust 15.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what skills do you need to launch this thing?
So to use a probe, what you need are remote ops, electronics remote ops, and that would be plus your dex.
Well, I'm +1. I
Hey,
have
that's
no
better than
ducks.
anybody else. Remote ops is the
I
one
have
that
no
usually
ducks, but
falls
I
by the
have
wayside.
remote ops.
I have a 2. I actually train remote ops.
Yeah, for an exploration mission, remote ops. The remote ops is always a good one, but for an exploration mission, it's almost a must-have for somebody. So
I've got a rank in it on my dex.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to launch a probe, you can, and it will zip off at 15 thrust, meaning that it will reach that. According to this, it counts as a missile.
2 missiles. It should be like 2 turns.
1 turn. And then you can take control of it.
Oh, I gotta.
Well, I mean, you're launching it, so I mean.
There's a 6. I got a 6.
Yeah, so I mean, this thing launches out of your probe tubes and is heading towards the. It'll get there next round. But Cephas, what do you want to do? You know that you see that Randolph has fired a probe off towards the wreckage.
Yeah.
You could light him up at long range.
What are you talking about? Shoot them?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Well, I mean, we're in the process trying to communicate, and we got a probe going in.
That was all a ruse. That's what I always do before I hit somebody. Is I try to communicate with them, just to throw them off.
I just read that in one of my science fiction books.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna
I
use.
stopped somebody and had them get rid of their cargo.
I'm gonna use
And
my
then shot a
turn.
missile at them after they left.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
If you drop your cargo, you won't shoot you.
I'm gonna use my turn to tell Stimpy, who we've taken with us, to scan the atmosphere and see if there are any signs of possible mold.
Okay. Go ahead and have Stimpy make a sensors plus intellect or education check. And then I have something else to show you.
It's an 8. I've got 2 sensors and then 1 for the thing.
Right. So I do have something else to show you. Stimpy, you guys are a little bit closer. Shows you a picture of this. This was where that colony was.
Well, it's pretty clear they got orbitally bombarded.
I'd say good sized meteor hit it.
Yeah.
But Stimpy,
That's called ship orbital weapons.
Stimpy is picking up low-level EM signatures on the planet in the radio band. They sound like a signal GK or an SOS.
Yep, gonna go ahead and ask Mel. At your earliest convenience, can you bring us down there?
I think we ought to blow up that damn Sovereign.
He's trying to communicate and getting that going, and so
Yeah,
I mean,
and these appear to be separate sovereigns.
yeah,
And I know that one of the things remember hearing was one group of sovereigns don't like the other group of sovereigns.
Well, the
Yeah.
Sovereigndoms don't like the Ernli. They think the Ernli worlds are weak. They think the Tenepal are weak. But this guy, who is correct point of contact for the Sovereigndom of Ernli, is saying that he speaks for all the Sovereigndoms.
Then what the hell happened?
Which we know is not true, right?
You could probably suspect that.
He's overstating the fact.
Yeah, you could probably suspect that he does not speak for everybody. So, Mel, Jack, what do you? Bocephus is radioed to the bridge. Wants to know if you can bring you guys down to orbit.
Are we going to ignore the mass driver?
we just launched probes. So I mean,
Well, you get
if
a
I
result
if
from
I
the
blow all
probe.
that shit up, I blow the probe up, and we don't get any information. So I was
And
trying to.
if you're landing on a planet, the mass driver would have to blow its own base up. I mean, it's
Yeah, I think if you just go right past it, chances are it won't be able to shoot at us. That's what I theorize. Get in the atmosphere. We're cool.
Does that trajectory work?
Oh, I have
bring
no
us into
fucking
orbit?
idea.
At
Yeah.
long range, you can adjust. You can make a piloting plus dex check and adjust trajectory.
Oh, sweet God.
And this is only a routine check, so you only got to beat 6+.
Hell yeah, you can do this. You can
All
do it.
right. I'll try to insert us into orbit.
you can always ask how long it's going to take, and then take more time.
That's true.
To
So-
increase your chances of
So
something.
the first question is, you're at thrust 3 now. You could increase the thrust 4. I don't know if you want to come in that hot, but yeah, you could come in at thrust 4. 4 Gs, and of course that would eliminate the ability to take time. If you reduce to thrust 2, you could take your time, and that'll give you a +2 to your roll.
Okay.
Might mean you get shot at
slow
more.
it down. Yeah, I might get shot at more. But my rolls have been garbage, so I'll slow down.
So you know the difficulty is 6, and you have a +2.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're trying
I'm
to roll
assuming
4.
So
If you take
my
extra
theoretical
time,
payoff-
you'd need to roll a 2, which you can't miss on.
Okay, I'll slow it down.
So slowing it down means it's automatic success. It just
My
means you get
expected
shot at.
payoff on any roll is 7, and I think I've hit that once.
You're gonna boxcar it.
Well, I mean, even if you roll snake eyes,
Oh,
No, you still did it. You still did
yeah.
it. So
the difficulty was 4. So
yeah.
You
So
couldn't-
Jack or Mel takes his time. See, I keep getting screwed up because we used to have an actual character named Jack. He was a Marine. So anyways, so Mel takes his time, kind of slows the thrust down. He's bringing you guys into the planet. The mass driver is going to take a shot. It missed wildly. Yeah,
so you might
it goes.
thrust help.
It tries to take a shot, and some of its payload actually ricochets off of the atmosphere and just scatters the parts that the meteors that didn't burn up in the atmosphere just ricochet off the planet and go off into Neverland forever and ever until they hit some poor passing space trader. Hey, what the hell was that? My windshield's cracked.
So did the probe get there yet?
We'll get to that.
Thank you.
Sarda, you're on the bridge, and this sovereigndom, the point of contact, correct point of contact is kind of just waving you off, going, "Oh, you were too humble. Permission to dock with your great warship."
Permission granted. Permission granted. What's the range to the bass driver?
You're at long range.
All right, I'm going to try to use. I want to try to use clairvoyance again to try to get a visual on anybody who might be on board directing the, so I can
Okay.
try to find out if there's, are these robots? Is this automated? Is this somebody manually, operating this machine?
Sure. Go ahead and make a clairvoyance check.
Yeah, sure. Oof, failed. So, all right.
Yeah, no, you're getting nothing.
Get a bit of a headache.
You see, you get a nosebleed and you see a bunch of junk floating in space.
All right. I'll just get back to focusing on. Are there still more of these drones coming in?
No.
Okay.
You've taken out the drones.
So just continue to fly in a pattern at an oblique angle.
It's unfortunate that you guys took out all the drones, because I had this battle map set up for you guys to actually be out on the hull of Deepnight Revelation, shooting at these things with handguns, as it was trying to tear your ship apart.
We'd be firing
That's
sandcasters.
why I got in my hazardous vac suit.
Sandcasters are a good idea, because they do
and my
8D
gal's
damage.
rifle.
That's what sandcasters are for. Yeah. So at this point, I'm just gonna continue to fly at an oblique angle, force them to try to reload and get that re-aimed.
Okay. Bocephus, what are you doing?
Well, there's SOS signals. I'm gonna have to answer them.
Okay. Go ahead and make a electronics comms plus intellect or education. You're at -2.
All right. That'll be a 9.
So you actually are able to focus the Desinex's comms array, and you actually are able to poke through this swirling cloud of radioactive dust that has pretty much enveloped most of the world. And like I said, this planet is in the process of a nuclear winter. This is going to go on for several years, probably a little more than a decade, before it even begins to clear up. This isn't as bad as like a thermonuclear war, but it is pretty bad. You are able to punch through, and you do pick up a couple of signals, responses from people speaking in the tech call language, and your translator unit. Basically, they are begging for assistance from any alliance craft available. We've suffered a asteroid strike. They also transmit data, and the data that is transmitted is telemetry. They knew that there was an asteroid passing through their system. The weird thing is that initially, when they found this asteroid passing through the system, it was not going to impact any of the worlds in the system. It was going to pass through, possibly get trapped by one of the gas giants, but probably was just going to pass through one side and out the other. Partway through, they noted EM emissions from this asteroid, and it changed course to head towards their world.
Have they seen any drones or anything like that in their immediate area or anything?
Do they have any signals that they recorded?
They don't have any signals that they recorded, but they have seen these robot-like drones. They suspect that it is an attack by the Sovereigndoms.
Us. Well, I thank them for their time, and I'll relay that information back to
Thank them for
the.
their time. They're like, no, you need to pick us up and get us out of here.
Oh well, we're headed that way. They should prepare. We're gonna come in and pick you up. Get your stuff together. We can, we can take.
Yeah, give them a number so they know how many people can get on your ship.
Yeah. How many can I fit on my ship?
You end up in an Afghanistan situation where they're hanging on the wheel covers. And everything.
Right. What is 18? 18 is a workshop area. I mean, you've got 17 tons of cargo, and I mean, you've got a common area. I mean, it should be no big deal to fit, I would guess probably 50 people.
We can take up to 50 of you, and we'll be willing to return for the rest of you, provided that you're calm and orderly, and all of that. And then I will get back to the Dresnecks. I'm not the Dresnecks, to the Deepnight, and I'll be like, man, all these drones are a sovereign attack. Those guys are fucking with you out there.
So
don't fuck around with them. Hit them with the fucking gun.
They suspect that the robot or the robot drones that attacked them were either Sovereigndom or from the Ernli worlds. They don't know.
Well, way to be in there, man.
we just need to go capture one of these, and we can examine it, and we can determine.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the drone there yet?
So yes, and this is what the drone sees. And this is what is stashed on one of these hulks.
Whoa, that's the cannon.
Mass driver array.
Yes.
What's a citadel?
We don't know.
Building?
We don't know the Citadel. It's a faction of some sort that we haven't. That's metagame. We don't know. Yeah, it's just like a little platform, man. Little.
So
Yeah.
we may be dealing with a fourth party.
I think
yes.
Yeah. I think this is just more of the same motherfuckers that had all those drones that jumped off of these dismantled ships. I mean,
Could be, like I said, it could be another sovereign.
Man, they just did an orbital strike on this people. I'm thinking they're taking over this land and claiming it, and they're removing the other people that were there. What it looks like to me. I mean,
well, we could always turn it into radioactive slag. And that
I'm more concerned. My number one priority is to make sure that there is no mold, and that none of this is because of them. If I were a higher technology people, and I don't know, an orbital strike might be something I did. If there were fucking something I was trying to annihilate the planet.
If you're worried about that, you know that you're going to have to make them go through decontamination in the airlock. It's going to take a while for those guys to get on board the ship.
That's true.
If you're going to force them to go through decontamination,
I'm going to do all that on the ship. We're inoculated.
Well, and you can do it in your cargo bay.
Yeah, I'll do them a big
Just
thing.
do
I'm
everybody
trying to.
all at once.
I just wasn't sure if you were worried about the mold.
shower.
I just wasn't sure if you were worried about the mold getting on board the ship. I was thinking,
Oh well, I mean, I'm gonna study it, but I want to do the severe protocols before we reestablish ourselves with the Deepnight population. You know what I mean? I mean, that will be slow and tedious, but this is a rescue. But
it's not an immediate rescue. The planet is not about to explode. You can force them through the hour-long process of going the airlock and then making sure that the Decinex is not getting anything on board it.
Yeah.
We
Well,
can't afford that.
What's that?
We can't afford that.
We can't afford to take an extra time.
Yes.
How can we
I'm
not?
concurring, sort of.
That we do have the time. Is what
We
you're
do
saying.
have the time.
That's what I thought too.
I mean, unless there's another asteroid or a missile coming in.
I'm worried about these drone droid things. They say they've seen them around. I'm not trying to be in a hot zone. I'm not trying to get ambushed. You know.
I mean, you let 10 into the airlock. You let them go through. You let the next
Decon.
go through. I mean, your ship is not stuck there the entire time. I mean, you can take off at any point in time. You just got them in your airlock.
All right. Well, let's see how many we got when we get there.
So we will pick this up next week. Mel is going to be setting you down on the colony, and you can investigate the ruins of the colony and start getting these people aboard your scout ship to rescue them.
Mel's going to do his best to get you onto the planet.
Well,
Or maybe Poppy. I mean, maybe Mel will end up being co-pilot.
I think you can get us on the planet just fine. It's just, can we take off again after you land? That's the question. Yeah, you can wreck us. I mean, you can hit the ground.
Any landing you can walk away from,
Yeah. I got faith in you in finding the ground, man.
My Saturday Traveler game is the way it is. I roll for absolute shit. It's gotten to the point where it's just ridiculously funny. Badly I roll on everything.
Well, that was fun. We've learned some stuff. So
Yes.
we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
We will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care.
You too.